From the moment Myles Garrett first stepped into the world of competitive sports, there was a force about him that could be felt before it was understood. Born with rare athletic gifts and raised in a family where discipline, education, and creativity were as valued as physical talent, Myles developed into the kind of individual who never fit into a single box. Even as a child, he drew people in with his size, yes, but also with his introspection, his curiosity, and his sense of purpose. He wasn't just a kid destined to play football. He was a kid destined to excel at whatever he put his mind to. And as the years unfolded, that truth revealed itself repeatedly, not only in the sport that made him famous, but in the character, commitment, and depth that would define his rise to becoming one of the most dominant pass rushers the NFL has ever seen. Growing up in Arlington, Texas, Myles was surrounded by a family that viewed potential as something to be nurtured, not demanded. His mother, Audrey, was a powerful presence in his life, a woman who understood the importance of balancing athletic dedication with intellectual strength. She instilled in him an appreciation for poetry, music, history, and the world beyond sports. His siblings, Sean and Brea, both elite athletes themselves, helped shape the competitive fire that would later make him unstoppable on the field. Together, they created an environment where excellence wasn't defined by trophies or accolades, but by discipline, hard work, and becoming a well-rounded human being. Myles carried that foundation with him through every stage of his development, building a character that would become as impressive as his physical mastery. By the time he reached high school, Myles was already a nightmare for opponents. Standing taller, stronger, and more explosive than nearly everyone around him, he dominated the field with a natural ease that felt almost unfair. But what people often overlooked was the enormous amount of study behind the scenes, the film work, the technique refinement, the mental preparation that separated him from other gifted young athletes. He wasn't merely relying on size. He was learning angles, body leverage, hand counters, footwork patterns, and timing, the subtleties of the position that only the advanced truly master. Coaches recognized it immediately. Myles wasn't just a physical outlier. He was a football student, someone who absorbed information like a sponge and improved week after week because he wanted to master every aspect of the game. His dominance at Martin High School made him one of the most sought-after recruits in the country. Programs from every major conference wanted him, but Texas A&M offered the perfect blend of competition, culture, and comfort. He saw in the Aggies a chance to carve his own path, to continue developing under coaches who believed in him, and to challenge himself against the toughest opponents in college football. The moment he arrived on campus, he made it clear he wasn't there to blend in. He was there to elevate. And almost instantly, he did just that. Myles' freshman season was a revelation. He shattered the SEC freshman sack record, displaying a burst, bend, and strength combination that offensive linemen had no answers for. Watching him rush the passer was like witnessing a force of nature, a blend of violence and precision, explosion and control. He played with a motor that never stopped, a discipline that never wavered, and a drive that suggested he viewed every snap as a chance to prove something. Yet even as he became a star on Saturdays, he continued writing poetry, expressing himself through music, exploring literature, and showing the world that an elite athlete could also be a thoughtful, introspective individual with layers far deeper than the highlight reels. As Myles grew into one of the top defenders in the nation, a future #1 pick, he also grew into someone admired for how he carried himself off the field. He cared about his teammates. He cared about mentorship. He cared about being someone young athletes could look up to. And when NFL scouts evaluated him, they saw a player who checked every box: size, power, speed, character, leadership, intelligence. He wasn't just a future professional. He was the kind of generational defensive talent franchises build around. When the Cleveland Browns selected him first overall in the 2017 NFL Draft, it wasn't a gamble. It was an expectation-filled moment that would define the next era of the franchise. Entering the NFL is never easy, even for the most talented rookies. The speed is different. The strength is different. The pressure is relentless. But Myles adapted quickly, turning raw tools into polished execution. His get-off was elite, one of the fastest ever recorded among edge rushers. His ability to bend around the corner made him a nightmare in one-on-one situations. And his football IQ allowed him to dissect protections, read tendencies, and anticipate plays before they developed. Over the next several years, he transformed into one of the league's most dominant defensive players. Offensive coordinators began game planning entire schemes around avoiding him. He drew double teams, chips, tight end help, and backfield support, yet he still made plays that shifted momentum, changed games, and ignited fear in opposing quarterbacks. But Myles Garrett's career has never been defined solely by athletic dominance. His story includes hardship, controversy, and redemption, moments that tested his growth, maturity, and inner strength. The 2019 helmet incident, which landed him in headlines across the country, was a chapter that forced him to reflect, to rebuild, and to show the world who he truly was beyond a single moment. And he did exactly that. He took accountability, addressed the situation head-on, committed to personal growth, and re-established his reputation through both action and consistency. Instead of running from adversity, he rose from it, stronger, wiser, and more determined to lead with integrity. In the seasons that followed, he became not just an elite pass rusher but a complete defensive presence. His leadership grew, his discipline sharpened, his off-season work ethic became the stuff of legend. He trained like someone chasing not only greatness but legacy, someone aware that the window of a career is finite, and every year is an opportunity to shape how history will remember him. And as his sack totals climbed, as his Pro Bowl selections accumulated, as his name entered Defensive Player of the Year conversations, it became clear the league was witnessing one of the all-time greats in real time. Yet it is what Myles Garrett represents as a person that truly completes his legacy. He is an athlete who appreciates art, who writes poetry, who reads philosophy, who embraces creativity. He loves paleontology and collects fossils. He speaks about social justice with clarity and compassion. He donates to community programs, supports local youth, and remains committed to bettering the environment around him. He is proof that greatness in sports does not require sacrificing depth or individuality. He is proof that strength can coexist with sensitivity, that dominance can coexist with humility, and that the world's expectations do not have to limit who a person becomes. Throughout the ups and downs of his NFL journey, Myles has remained close to his family, the foundation that has grounded him since childhood. Their support, guidance, and presence have shaped his identity and helped him maintain balance amid fame and pressure. His mother remains one of his most profound influences, reminding him to stay thoughtful, to stay curious, and to use his platform for more than personal achievement. His siblings continue to be part of his story, encouraging him, challenging him, and celebrating the man he has become. That sense of rootedness is visible in how he carries himself, calm, resolute, and centered. As Myles Garrett continues shaping his legacy, the world watches with a mixture of awe and appreciation. He is redefining what defensive excellence looks like in the modern NFL. He is setting new standards for versatility, power, and technique. And he is reminding young players everywhere that the path to greatness is not linear. It is not without setbacks, challenges, or moments of doubt. It is forged through resilience, reflection, and the willingness to evolve. Myles embodies that evolution. He is a generational talent, a rare blend of physical and intellectual brilliance, and a figure who will be remembered long after his final snap. For now, the story of Myles Garrett is still being written, and that may be the most exciting part. He is in his prime, climbing, pushing, establishing himself among the highest tier of defensive legends. Every sack adds to his case. Every forced fumble strengthens his argument. Every moment of leadership deepens his impact. His presence transforms the Browns' defense. His energy ignites the stadium, and his passion fuels a fan base that sees in him not just a star, but a leader capable of guiding the franchise toward greatness. And as long as he continues to play with the combination of heart, discipline, and ferocity that has defined his journey so far, his place among football's all-time greats feels inevitable. Thank you so much for taking the time to experience this full, reflective, long-form tribute to Myles Garrett, a player whose story continues to evolve and inspire. If you enjoyed this deep dive into his life, career, and impact, make sure to stay connected, share your support, and check back for more extended tributes to the athletes, icons, and legends who shaped the world of sports. Your presence and passion mean everything.